this is where the Beatles albums start to get really exciting. Help. It takes the folk influences from Beatles for Sale and dives into them headfirst. There's even some country songs on this album. But also, it's a step closer to Rubber Soul than Beatles for Sale is. In fact, some of the songs from this album were reused on the American version of Rubber Soul. Justifiably so, too. The worst song on this album is a very obvious sonic outlier, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. This could have been on par with Money, which it's kind of in the same vein as a closer. But the problem is that the guitar solo is annoying and cloying and grating. So that takes it all the way back. It takes it all the way down to number 14. What an awful riff. Also, Yesterday would have been a better album closer. It made sense to end Please Please Me with Twist and Shout, and it made sense to end with the Beatles with Money, but it doesn't make sense to end this album with Dizzy Miss Lizzy, because most of the songs on here are folk-influenced and a bit slower than the upbeat love songs that permeated the first two albums. Number 13 is Act Naturally. Most people would probably rank this as worse than Dizzy Miss Lizzy, but I like it. It's a charming song. It's kind of goofy, but it is a charming song. It does kind of feel like filler, though. Number 12 is Another Girl. The melody in the song is basically non-existent, and the country influence is kind of ugly to me. Not for any, particular reason. It's just that, I don't know. I just don't really love it that much. Those three songs are the only ones I have serious problems with, though. Everything else is, amazing. Number 11 is Tell Me What You See. I kind of understand why this song is regarded as not that great, but I do like it. It's very basic. It doesn't really have... It's kind of, monotonous. It kind of stays the same throughout the whole song. No particular high points or low points, dynamics-wise or anything, really. It's just kind of a simple pop song. But I like it, because it is folk-influenced, just like most of the material on this album. And it's just an enjoyable song overall. Number 10 is The Night Before. It's a really good song. It's a really, really, really good song. But it also has that, kind of dated early Beatles feel to it, which is also the same case for number 9, You're Going to Lose That Girl. The only difference is that You're Going to Lose That Girl has a catchier melody. Number 8 is You Like Me Too Much. George Harrison made a very strong advancement with his songwriting on this album. On With the Beatles, the only thing that we had on the previous albums was on With the Beatles with Don't Bother Me, of songs that George wrote, and I am not a very big fan of Don't Bother Me, which makes You Like Me Too Much that much more impressive. He just has this personal feel to his songwriting that I really like. The lyrics could probably be interpreted as a bit creepy, but I just enjoy the song. I don't really care, honestly. Number 7 is Help. The hook is kind of weak, but this was an important song in the advancement of the Beatles' musicality, so I can't just ignore that. Number 6 is I Need You. The guitar effect on this song is really, really cool. And the songwriting here from George is not as good as it is on You Like Me Too Much, but it is a really, really good song. Number 5 is Ticket to Ride. This was kind of the Beatles' first dive into psychedelia. There's a syncopated guitar rhythm and kind of a drone thing going on in the background, which would kind of foreshadow what would happen on songs like Tomorrow Never Knows, which when you think about it, is basically just a less poppier version of this song with more tape loops and studio effects. And the outro of Ticket to Ride is really good too. Number 4 is It's Only Love. I think this was John Lennon's least favorite song that he ever wrote. And I don't know what he was thinking when he called it that. Because to me, this song deserves to be held in the same canon as Yesterday and Michelle in terms of pop standards that get covered by everyone. It has an amazing melody, probably the best melody on this album. That was kind of reused on the song Adventure of a Lifetime by Coldplay. I don't know if it was intentionally taken from this or not, but it definitely sounds like it a lot. And the ending of the song is great too. Loving you. That's just incredible. and I love it. Number 3 is I've Just Seen a Face. It's basically a country song, a bluegrass song, when you think about it. And Paul does it really well. It's basically just about love at first sight, but the stylistic angle that the song decided to take makes it a lot more interesting than it would have been otherwise. Also, the intro is really good too. Before Paul begins the first verse, there's like this guitar section that is just like a bunch of triplets being played, and I really like it. Number 2 is You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. It's just a straight up folk song, influenced by Bob Dylan. And it kind of sounds like Norwegian Wood from the next album. But I might honestly like this one better than Norwegian Wood. The downsides to it are that it's too short, and that the flute outro is not that great. Neither of those are problems with the number 1 here, though. Super predictable number 1, but it deserves its spot. Yesterday. The string arrangement is beautiful. It's a short song, but it doesn't need to be long. Paul's vocal performance is just amazing. It's just a gorgeous song as a whole. It ends really well, too. It's almost amazing how Paul came up with this melody in a dream. I mean, actually, that story might not be true because John Lennon's story of how the song came about was a bit different than Paul's. But if he really did come up with it in a dream, then that's impressive. Because this is one of the Beatles' best songs. And it has the reputation that it has for a reason. Help is an amazing album. If the covers were cut, and if maybe if Another Girl was cut, then this could have been on par even with Abbey Road. Just incredible work. Definitely the best album they've made at this point in their career.